Welcome to today, July 2nd. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world-famous Andy Shaver.
Knocking my shit over here.
Are you?
Well, yeah, I didn't mean to.
This brought to you by Boss Shot Shells. We got one group open for the Boss Dove Hunt, which is September 16, 17, 18, I believe. Monday, come in on Monday and leave on Thursday. And we've got a spot for 8 guys on the Boss Goose Hunt, which is November 17th, 18th, and 19th. You want to come out and hang out with some cool people in the industry and hunt and have a good time? Check us out at both of those. Anyways, July 2nd is my day. I'm going to ask you a name.
Okay.
And I'm going to, what do you know about him? I'm kind of put you on the spot today.
Clint Eastwood.
No. Thurgood Marshall.
Nothing.
You don't know who Thurgood Marshall is?
I've heard the name, but I know.
He is the first Supreme Court that was a black gentleman.
Yep.
Was born on July 2nd in Baltimore, Maryland, and died January 24th in 1993. He was a lawyer, a civil rights activist, associate justice of the U.S. Supreme Court, the court's first African-American member. As an attorney, he successfully argued before the court the case of Brown versus Board of Education in Topeka, which declared unconstitutional racial segregation in American public schools, which I think is one of the biggest mistakes our country's ever made.
Desegregating?
I think that we ought to let people go to school where they want to go to school, and I don't think it's fair to a lot of poor black kids to get shoved into shitty places going to school to white school. I think money should be funded for all schools equally. I think the black kids and white kids, red kids, yellow kids, brown kids, all should have the same funding and the opportunities. But it's no fun to be a poor kid and have to go to a rich school or to a school with kids that have a lot more different. So I think in a lot of ways, I don't know if that was such a great move. I think the ability to go to school with white kids, if you're a black kid, or a white kid with a black kid, is great. I just don't think making people go out of their comfort zone was a good thing. Does that make sense?
Hot take.
Does that make sense to you or not?
Yeah.
I've seen both ends of that deal. So I don't like telling people they can't go to school because they're the wrong color, but right. I don't think making them was the right thing to do. Anyways, Marshall was the son of William Canfield Marshall, a railroad porter and steward at an all-white country club. His dad loved law, absolutely loved law. So what his dad would do in his spare time is he'd go watch court cases, and he would bring his son along with him.
That's kind of cool.
And then he would question his son, why did they do this? Why did they do that? His dad never wanted him to be an attorney or never tried to make him be an attorney, but he opened the gates for him.
Right.
Anyways, he graduated from honors from Lincoln University, Pennsylvania in 1930. After being rejected by the University of Maryland Law School because he was not white, Marshall attended Howard University Law School. He received his degree in 1933. Upon his graduation from Howard, Marshall began the private practice of law in Baltimore. He didn't make any money. Do you know why? He gave so much of his time away for people free that were needing an attorney to do things.
Pro bono?
Yep, done so much of that stuff. He went to work for the NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People is what that stands for. So if you call someone colored, you're not being racist. That's something they used in 1938. He became the lead chair in the legal office for them. And he worked his way up and was become the first African-American on the Supreme Court, a really great American, Mr. Thurgood Marshall. So anyways, now I'm going to ask you a question now, and I'm going to ask you if you know who he is too, because I know you probably don't. I'm going to tell you what I'll do. I'll throw in a steak dinner if you can tell me what this guy's famous for.
Okay.
Okay, you can't look it up.
Okay.
All right, you got 10 seconds. That's fair.
Okay.
Mario Puzo.
Your steak is safe.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the original Superman film?
I mean, I know, but
he wrote the original screenplay for it.
Oh,
but that's not what he's famous for.
Okay.
They had a little series that he wrote. They made 3 movies out of it. One of his one of the actors, one of James Caan plays one of the guys, Michael Corleone.
Oh, okay.
You know.
So he wrote The Godfather?
He wrote the Godfather trilogy.
That sucks.
He was born October
guess that.
15th, 1920, died July 2nd, 1999, was an American author and screenwriter. He wrote crime novels about the Italian-American mafia and Sicilian mob, most notably The Godfather, which he later co-adapted into a film trilogy directed by Francis Ford Coppola. How much money do you think he sold the first movie rights for? I mean, it was already a best-selling book.
Mm-hmm. He wrote the book?
Yep. Yeah, he wrote the book.
Okay.
And the screenplay.
$750,000.
No. $12,500.
Wow. Did he get it on the back end?
And $80,000 once they made the film.
He get anything on the back end?
No, that was $80,000. What happened was a guy told him not to do it. A good friend of his says, "Don't do it. You're giving away your money. Do not do it. Don't do it. Don't do it." But he had some gambling debts and he was in debt, so he needed the money, so he sold it. And then he got $80,000 for the movie when it came out.
What a mafia type thing already.
Yes, but anyways, he cashed in on The Godfather 2 and Godfather Part 3. He cashed in on, he wrote in 1972, Puzo wrote the first draft of the script for the 1974 disaster film Earthquake, but was unable to continue his work because of his prior commitment to The Godfather Part 2. But then he also wrote the screenplays for Superman 1 and 2. Anyways, he died of heart failure on July 2nd, 1999. He was married to a German woman named Erika Broski, with whom he had 5 children. When Erika died of breast cancer at the age of 57, her nurse, Carol Gino, stepped in and became his companion.
Oh, how nice.
So he was with her until the end. So he was down with her for another 20 years. Anyways, he died. You know what he was worth?
Probably nothing.
$20 million.
Oh, okay. He did.
So that's what I was thinking too. Okay, now, if you had to think of the greatest business model in the United States for longevity, or that went for a long time, what would you rank the top?
I don't even know what question you asked.
Okay, I sound like Joe Biden on this question. Okay, it was word salad. If you had to pick a business model of a business that started years and years ago, let's say we'll just use Dirty Duck Coffee because I'm sitting a bag of it right in front of me.
Okay.
And they'd been around for 50 years, and they were the Folgers, had become the next Folgers. You'd be like, wow, that's an amazing business model. Mm-hmm. And not that Dirty Duck Coffee's not, but we're talking at the highest level that you have. What would you name some? Sears Roebuck come to mind?
Amazon.
Okay. And Sears Roebuck was the first Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, it was around for 100 years. People bought houses, everything. And Amazon. What else would you put in that category?
Well, I mean, America's full of success stories like that.
No, I'm talking there's very few that are as successful and has started out into where this one ended at. And it's got a monopoly on everything. And I hate them.
Walmart?
Yes.
I wouldn't say they have a monopoly. They have an unfair advantage for sure, but
Well, how'd they get an unfair advantage?
because they're cheap,
Smart
and, they're cheap
businessmen.
and good, and
You go to my grandmother in 1981, 82, probably. We were at her house in Buffalo, Kansas, and I remember this. I can't remember taking the trash out, but I can remember so much shit from my past. My grandmother was talking to my Aunt Cheryl, and they were talking about going to Walmart. They'd opened up a Walmart in Chinook, Kansas. And my grandma was like, "Oh, I just love going there." She goes, "I don't have to go nowhere else." She goes, "If I need to buy a new crock pot, I can get it. I can get groceries. I can do this."
Right.
And I remember my grandmother telling me that, or talking about it at that time. And it made sense to me. And then in Wichita Falls, we didn't have a Walmart for a long time. They were in Iowa Park and Burke Burnett. Well, Iowa Park gave them a big tax break for Walmart to build a super center there, or store. Well, guess what happens as soon as their contract's up?
they left.
They left. And where do they go to?
Wichita Falls.
And what happened to all them small businesses in Iowa Park?
They're already out
Gone.
of business. Yeah.
So they do have a monopoly in a way. Anyways,
Well, you've also got you got free enterprise here in America, so
well, so is Amazon's got a huge monopoly. But it is free enterprise.
I don't know that I would call it a monopoly. A monopoly is when
No, I know what the difference is, but there's no other nobody can compete. It's kind of like the NFL. NFL has a monopoly on pro football.
but anybody can go start their own league.
They've got everything. The ends are all tied up.
Right.
And that's what Walmart does. If you don't some things from Walmart, if you don't sell to them exclusively, they don't let you go nowhere else.
Yeah.
We just won't do business with you then. You have to go. Now, Amazon has given a bunch of competition to Walmart by far. And I think COVID really made Amazon blow up.
Right.
But I bet Amazon comes to your house 3 days a week.
A lot, but I don't know about that much. But yeah, I mean, we get everything there.
And guess where? How many times I see UPS got in my house a week?
A lot.
Every day, just about. If he doesn't come, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he was in the street the other day, and I go, "What do you got?" He goes, "Believe it or not, Michelle's not getting nothing today."
Nothing today.
I said, "Well, my credit card thanks you." Anyways, Walmart, the history of Walmart, an American discount department store chain began in 1950 when businessman Sam Walton purchased a store from Luther Harrison in Oklahoma City. I did not realize their first store was in Oklahoma City, and opened Walton's 5 and 10. The Walmart chain proper was founded in 62 with a single store in Rogers, Arkansas, expanding inside Oklahoma by 68 and throughout the rest of the United States by the 80s. Ultimately operating a store in every state in the United States, plus its first stores in Canada by 95. Okay, the reason this date is open, this was the date of their first store, was today. So anyways, we can talk about Walmart. We can talk about how much money they bring in. They bring in billions and billions and billions of dollars. And Sam Walton is one of the greatest businessmen to ever live to turn that little store into what he has now. It's kind of like the Home Depots. That started out as one store. Lowe's started out as one store. And Walmart started out as one store. And I just think that's amazing. The last thing I saw number-wise was they were making $1 billion a day now.
Wow.
And that's just, that's crazy to bring in $1 billion a day. So anyways, that is my business that opened today. The first Walmart store opened in Arkansas on July 2nd. So that's my deal. Walmart, that's July 2nd. God bless you. Peace. Have a great day. Tell someone you love them and hug them.
Bye-bye. Watch for deer.